The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Welcome to the Easton Grange number 196. Today is Monday, November 11th. It is Veterans Day, and it is also our meeting tonight. We've had a wonderful supper, and we're now going to have a short, brief program about what happened at the State Grange session recently. And two of our members are veterans, and they were honored and presented with a quilt, beautiful quilts, Ernie Smith and Larry Dahlgren. So enjoy this brief but important program tonight, and we'll see you on the normally third Monday of the month at 6 o'clock for supper, program at 6:45, so all of Easton is welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Merry Christmas.
Hello, my name is Lisa Hadley and I'm the president of Easton Grange 196. And thank you all for letting me have this brief presentation this evening. I think you'll find it a little bit enlightening. I attended the State Grange session the last weekend in October. It was very interesting. It's the first time I've ever gone to anything like that. I learned a great deal and I really enjoyed myself. And I thought before I called some people up that also took part in the session that weekend, I would give a brief overview about what happened so you had an idea of what exactly I was doing out there all weekend. It started on Thursday evening. There was a dinner for all Grangers. I was the delegate as well. The program was wonderful. I escorted Larry up and another Grange member, Lori Alden, escorted Ernie. And I think there was about 8 to 10, maybe a dozen at the most, veterans that received awards in the quilts that afternoon. And after that ceremony had finished, we all went to the special veterans dinner, which was held poolside again. Another lovely meal, actually. All the food was delicious. That ended. I drove Larry and Ernie back home. I got up on Saturday and again went out to state session, and that afternoon was very interesting for me because I was a guest for the 6th degree, singing for the 6th degree, which was really a beautiful ceremony. 1:30, and I'd like to call Larry up, if you don't mind, Larry, and just say it.
Well, one thing, I could not hear them talking, to be honest with you, because my hearing is...
Oh.
Larry, you have to go by the microphone.
It's okay, it's all right. Larry's saying he, because of hearing issues, he had a hard time hearing a lot of what they were saying. But he received the first award and the first quilt. And the second person to receive was Ernie. And Ernie will come up and say a few words about the ceremony. Ernie's bringing his quilt too. We're going to hold it up. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yes, it is beautiful. Ernie will say a couple things about. Is there 8 quilts? It goes this way then.
Yes, it does.
So this is Ernie's quilt, and every veteran received one of these, as well as a special commendation letter that they were given. It was really nice, and they wrapped each veteran around with their quilt. And the one thing that the lady who was the director of the Quilts of Valor had said, which I thought was really nice, she really said to the veterans, use these quilts. Don't just put it in a, safekeeping cedar chest where they really wanted them to use these.
These
throw in
were,
the washing machine
Right.
and really make them
these were all
comfortable.
hand done by women, doing these for, and she said nationally so far, this program has given away over 300,000 of these quilts to veterans. That was impressive. Ernie, would you like to add a couple of just words?
Well, actually, yes. I want to thank you, first of all, for allowing me to make that trip and getting to know more about the operation that we do here every third Monday of the month. Because you can read and study, but until you perform, you've got nothing to live by as far as what is real. So I learned an awful lot from that short stay at the convention. And the quilt and all of that was such a surprise because no one, Lisa, our president, didn't explain what may be about to happen. Just
That was our
come
job.
with us and there you are. So when we got there, Lisa and Laurie, I believe, young ladies escorted us to the podium and we were awarded the blanket as a quilt as quoted there. And thank you so much. Thank you very much.
After the ceremony, it was lovely in every way. We had the Veterans Dinner, which also was really, really special. And I'm going to call Lynn Martin up to say she was there and to say a few words about the dinner.
I was at the dinner. I was only able to participate for the quilt presentation and the dinner that night because I had other responsibilities in town. But it was wonderful to see all of the people for the Grange because I had been a state officer for the last 4 years. And this was a great opportunity to see old friends. It was that one was, it was on at the poolside, and everyone had a good time. And the point of the Quilts of Valor is the whole joke of it. It's sort of like Santa Claus. You try to keep the secret as long as possible. And we were very happy that our two people who were presented with quilts, Larry and Ernie, really, really were surprised. And we're hoping to find more candidates in the Easton community that would be appropriate candidates for next year. So if you can think of somebody who's really duly noteworthy, we do have the control of getting somebody that the Easton Grange touches on in a community sort of way. So if you put your thinking caps on, the only trouble is the secret might get out, in such a situation. But it really is nice if we could find somebody duly and could be surprised. Bill Ames was recipient of a quilt 2 years ago, and he wasn't surprised at all because he had seen the quilt being presented the prior year and turned to me and said, "How come I don't get a quilt?" And I said, "Well, if you can act surprised, you'll get a quilt next year."
Thank you, Lynn. That's excellent. Thank you. So one day remaining, Saturday comes, and I drive back out to the state session in Milford. And I had a job that morning. I was not able to get there until 1:30 at the start of the 6th degree, but there was someone who actually participated in the 5th degree, Lynn Nelson, who I'm going to call up, and she's going to tell everybody she actually was, were you series at Flora, or I know you were in the court.
I was series.
So she was series.
I
Okay.
was series. I represented one of the three graces, and we presented the 5th degree from the Norfolk and Sipican Pomonas as the sponsors. So we had done a few practices and tried to get the timing right. And the important thing about the 5th degree is that it's a ceremony that represents the goddesses of the growing process and seasons, and so there's a lot of asking people to be to bring something to the Pomona to have help growing your farm vegetables and everything. So we do need to dress as the Graces from way back. So it's very historical, and there was a terrible lightning storm at one point, and so it's very unique to see it. So I suggest everyone go to State Grange at least once in order to be able to see those degree ceremonies happen. Lori and I were both Graces, and so it was nice having someone else from Easton Grange there. And it was just a very nice ceremony. And we did have a few different new members coming, so it's done every year at State in case you can't get the degree at some other Pomona at that during the year. So it's definitely a sight to see.
So then I was at 6th degree, and I basically witnessed a lot of what you just spoke about. And also, like I said earlier, I was able to sing for the 6th degree. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was really amazing. And I worked with, there's a picture on the TV there on the screen of another gentleman standing next to me. His name is Brian Carr. He's the state musician, lovely gentleman from Salem. And he accompanied me on the piano. He had a keyboard. It was great. I sang 4 selections, and it was all throughout the service. And there were people about half a dozen people that took the 6th degree. And they had this big celebration banquet right in the middle of the whole ceremony. And the ceremony is about 2 hours. So, but it goes by very fast. And following that was the celebration banquet. You leave that 6th degree, and there's a short break. They break the room down, and they set up for the celebration banquet. And the celebration banquet was wonderful. And that ends state session. That ended it for me. There was a service in the morning, like a church service that you could attend, but I didn't go to that. So for me, the Saturday evening was the end. And it was wonderful. I learned a lot, and it was a great experience.